functions, and they are very interesting. And what we'll do is that in these aggregate functions, we'll just see some of the examples, some of the example code. And one thing that I would like all of you to just do that is open up your SSMS SQL Server Management Studio and be ready with it, because we will be working with this one, and we'll try to just run through that. Okay. So yeah, so my that is starting. Aggregate functions. Aggregate functions are used to count rows and summarize. Typically, let's see if it opens up. Sometimes it creates problem for me. Just give me a second. So is it like SQL Server Management Studio ready with all of you? Because I would be just doing few things here and there with that. Okay, so my SQL Server Management Studio always do this problem. It is not connecting because sometimes it will just connect smoothly. Sometimes it just creates problems. And I think I'll have to just, maybe restart that. So I'll restart that later on. No worries. Right. So aggregate functions are used to count rows or summarize typically numeric data in the database. So that is basically what aggregate functions will do. They can appear in the column list of a select statement. We can write them in the column list where we mention that what type of column, which columns we are trying to, mention, or we are trying to just bring on. Or they can be in a having clause. We'll talk about having over here. What is having? And then it can be in order by clause. So order by clause also can get these functions, aggregate functions. And the aggregate functions will do what? Aggregate functions will then, do our job of counting something or summarizing something or whatever job has been given to them. So aggregate functions differ from scalar functions. We have talked about scalar functions. We talked about some scalar functions, absolute, substring, one value in, one value return. Aggregate functions, many values in, many values return, and one value return. So again, scalar functions, they accept only one value and they return the one value out of it. But aggregate functions can accept many values, multiple values, count and things like that. So 5 basic aggregate functions. So basic aggregate functions are count, average, sum, min, and max. They are very basic. And we will try to just, have some examples of these. We'll just try to have some nice examples of them by using one of the database that we have created. So each supports all and distinct keyword. They will support both of them, all or distinct keyword. All compute the function over all one null input values, average all x. Distinct compute the result considering only unique non-null values, count distinct x. So count is actually all will just take out everything. And count distinct will just take out the distinct one. And this is very obvious. We have talked about that. Aggregate function count. What is this count? Count always returns a value. Count star will return 0 if the input is empty. If the input is empty, what does that mean? We will have, for example, average x. So all aggregate function except count star ignore null values in their input. For example, average x considers only non-null value of x. Aggregate functions other than count will return null if they have null values in their output. And again, I'll again start my SSMS. If it starts, it really creates sometimes fuss for me. It's going on, and pray for me that this starts, because it does not take that much time. If it is taking time, it means that it has some problem. And that really is, if I just cancel this, or for example, I come here and I try to connect it through this one. You remember, it creates a problem. Like sometimes it makes problem for me. And I just don't want to do that. No, still no, nothing. And Okay, I don't know why it's not connecting. Let me just connect. Is it connected with you? Can I have a yes in the chat window for everyone who has got connected ready SQL Server, because we'll be doing some code here. Dipinder has got it. Wonderful, Dipinder. So my is just creating problem. Daniel, wonderful. Arun, 31. That's great. Okay, you guys have ready. Wonderful. I can see a lot of people. They're ready with that. You see that at network.
Um, okay. I've
Sorry.
faced this issue like uh some time ago. So either it is because of the network problem or you have to restart the Microsoft Studio.
The studio. Yes, I know. I have done. I've done that restart. Restart means you mean just just close that and restart, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've just done that. I'll just do that again. Thank you. It happens at times, and yes, you're right. This is because of the server connection or network connection or something. But it happens with my like my looks like I'll have to update that as well. Because I'm using 19, and now right now the version is 20. No, you see that it does not take that much time. Okay, so there is something wrong with this. Okay, you see that I have done that. I have restarted that one. And once it gets stuck, it gets stuck. Sometimes it will become annoying. And it should not take that much time. It just in a flash, it should just start like
maybe
connecting.
because of need some updation or something. Maybe it is happening because of that.
I think you're right. Maybe what I'll do is that why
Because
not if
recently I had also an update, so
I
maybe it's
see.
because of that.
Okay, right. So you say that, and you're right. I would like to just update that right away. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to update that one. Let me just do that. All right. Let's, it was updating, and I'll just do that. Yeah, let's do that, and I'll just quickly do that. Hopefully, it will run now this time. So this is 20.1. I had this 19, and now it should be 20.1. And let's see how much time it takes to download. It is now done. Let's run that one. Okay, in the meantime, let's discuss that one. So count always returns a value. Count star will return 0 if the input is empty, and all aggregate functions except count ignore null values in their input. For example, average x considers. So that is basically with respect to count. Count star returns a count of the rows in the table. Result not related to nullability of any expression, merely a count of the row of the input. Again, it is not connected to the nullability of that one. Da, 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 da. Yes. it should keep on doing its job. So count always returns a value. If the input is empty, the result of count is 0. Count of expression, if counts the number of non-null values in the input. So if you have given an expression, an expression is something that always produces a result. So if we have given count expression, it will just count the number of non-null values in the input. Whatever is the expression, all non-null values will come out. And we'll see the examples shortly. Count distinct. What it does, count distinct expression counts the number of distinct duplicate free values. So it will just count distinct duplicate values. So count star counts all the rows unconditionally. Select starring as count from person, count star, and it will just say 434. So again, there will be like from person, there are the records, all the records, it will just come out and it will show us that how many records are there. It is just downloading, and let's see, it will just update this hopefully when it is done, because it's been doing that one. So we'll just see the example. And count expression counts all the rows with non-null values of expression. We'll give an expression or something. So we are saying count facts, for example, as count facts, as a aliasing that one. And from employee, and it says that, for example, if we are just counting for the facts, it will say that there are, for example, 4 values for the facts or something. Then all columns for all facts, it's still 4 because counts all rows with non-null values of the column, because all is default and is usually omitted. So again, if all we use that all or without use all, both cases, it would definitely do that. When we come to count distinct, with where, so naturally you can use a where clause to restrict the rows being counted. Select count distinct facts as count distinct facts where from with where. So what we are doing from employee where school code is equal to TAP. So it would say that, for example, where there is a school code of TAP, we'll see the database once it is done. So we'll see that it would be basically, it will just come out as 1, that there is a 1 table. Just let's see that. Hopefully it is now updated. It still says 19. Wonderful. Oh no, here is the 20. Yes, it is importing the the properties from 19. Let's hope that it comes out good this for time. Okay. Interesting. Looks like it is not connecting the 20. It's not on my screen right now. Okay, I know maybe I need to go to the services and see SQL Server services, restart them. So let's. Okay, so I'm just, I'll have to restart the service because it looks like it's not working for me. It's not doing for even 20. I'll show you, this is my 20. And when I'm trying to connect to it, you see that, for example, if I see that, see it is not. So look, if it happens with you as well, what I'll do is that I'll just check these services. I've just written the services in my that one, and now I'll try to find out SQL Server. Look at that. It's a good time to have this problem because, we will be trying to solve this problem. Do you see SQL services or yeah, SQL Server Express? This is this one automatically running. So what I'll do is that I will Oh, it's not started. Wonderful. Oh, it generally starts by automatically, Now it will connect. Definitely it will connect. See that? So that was the problem, Again, good problem to have. All righty. So let's start talking about some of the examples that we have just seen. Okay, so remember we have a database. If you guys remember, we have a database SIS after Muncie's. Yes. Do you guys have that database SIS? And what I do is I told you that you can always run this command to use that one, and this SIS will be become over here. Everyone has had that one. Let's first of all check those counts method that we are talking about. So if I say select count, and we just say asterisk, and as like let's give it a alias. So you say count static, just close that. From, now we have a table called person. Look at that. Now if I execute this one, it says 434. Now what is this 434? So I will always do that. I will always write a query that brings out everything from person. Look at that. I have 434 rows. So when we say select count, static as count, so it is basically bringing up all the number of rows over here, and it's telling me that actually there are 434 rows over there. Make sense, everyone? And the second one that we have seen, if you remember, we have, like, if I copy this again, and I say select count, for example, I'm counting this facts, and sorry, fx facts, and here as well we have given a data or input for that one, and we are saying that facts from employee has a table. So I'll show you the employee table as well. So from employee, just count this facts over here, and bring up the facts, and if you look at that, it is bringing up 4. And now I'll just run the employee command as well, just to see what is this over here, what are the fields over there. Employee. Now see here, let's execute. So do you see that? Now, if you come up over here, you see that fax number is only 1, 2, 3, 4 people have the fax number. Can I have thumbs up from everyone? It's counting those which have fax. So when you give some command, it actually looks for non-null values only. So it has just gone there, and it has just brought up over there. And if you remember that we have tried that one, that we will just try to have all facts. Still, it will be the same. Why? Because facts is whenever there is something that is, there is an expression here, it will always look for all those values. So still it will return 4. Look at that, it is still returning 4, and both of them are returning 4 if you run both of them. First one is count facts with without, and here we are saying with all. With all, so right. So let's run both of them, and you will see the difference. So count with facts is basically returning 4, and count facts with all is also returning as 4. Make sense, everyone? Now, if we come here and even we do that distinct facts, still because there are only that much facts, so it will just bring up those. I said distinct facts. So as count, and we are using that as distinct. So now if I run that one, look at that. Distinct facts are 3. Let's check that one. So in employee, if I execute that, so these two have the same one. You see 519189, 2329. Rather, it is checking, or both these two are there. And you should know the regular expressions if you want to just check maybe something over there. So it's 519 189 3239. It's taking both of them as same, right? Like that's why it is calling, or it is just bringing up in the distinct facts. It is just bringing up 3, and it says both of those are same, right? So with the bracket one, it's counting them as the same. Now let's talk about with where clause. Let's copy this one, and this is all in slides by the way, but we are having that over here. Distinct facts as that count, and with where. with where clause, right? So we say from employee and where school code equal to single TAP. School code is equal to TAP. So now let's see that. So it says that over here. So if again, if I go to the employee, it's because the same employee table. If I just run that one, look at that. Which one is that school we are saying tab TAP? So you see that TAP is here, TAP is here, TAP is here. But if you count distinct TAP, so distinct facts, it will basically take out this distinct. So if I just take away this distinct from here for a second, do you know what will be the output now? Anyone can guess? What will be my output now? Just looking at over here, and can you guess what will be the output? How many number? What number it will just generate now? Because I have taken away the distinct from here. So it is now it's showing like, count of facts and as facts with where 2. And why it is showing 2? Why not 3? Let's check that. So we have got tab, and we have got tab. Interesting. Why this third one is not coming up? Okay. Oh, it says 2. Why 2? Do you guys know what I'm saying? Because it's should, or I'm missing something. Because if you look at that, we have tab, this one, TAP, this one, and TAP, this one. So, and when you're counting something, you should count. Why not? Let's count EIT. Maybe I've missed some. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I have, for example, if I say EIT, let's run that one and count that EIT as well. Right. Um, it looks like I'm making a mistake. It says 0 count facts. Why not? Let's run this one as well. So school code is EIT and facts. Okay, right. Okay. TAP. Oh, yes. So I was making a mistake. That was correct. Now, can anyone tell me? Now I found out my mistake. Why it is showing 2 over here? Sorry. Anyone? And it is correct. It's showing 2. This is right. Why it is showing 2 while we have 3 TAPs there? Who would like to answer that one? No. There is another issue. Not sorry.
Facts value is null for that reason.
Actually, the facts is null for this TAP. Look at that.
Yeah.
So that's why it is not counting that one. It is counting this tab and this tab because they have the fax number, and we are actually looking for the fax number, but school is basically over here. And how did I know? I knew it by when I just change it to EIT, because I was just really making mistake. It will come out as 0. Look at that. Why 0? Because in no EIT, there is a fax number. Look at that. EIT, they are all no fax numbers. Look at that, null. And if there was an EIT that had any fax number, it would have that. Wonderful. So that's what it's basically doing. It's just bringing out that distinct from there. Right. So now let's go back to the slides and see what we were doing in our slides. Let's come back. So select count distinct facts. As count distinct facts, we are multiply and it will just return true. Now average. Now the other method, which is average. Average is used to compute the average value of an expression So for example, if you look at that, it is just mentioning over here that if we have select and then a string being introduced, dollar sign, convert char 7 like character 7 and cast average amount, take out average amount and cast that and represent that as money, right? And then what we are doing is that we are just casting that to that typically to average cost as money, and then we are converting that one and as minimum as average amount over here from invoice item. So it will just bring up that one over here. So now let's try that one out, how it is representing that typical thing. So I'll write select, and let's say we are putting a dollar sign over here and then plus to concatenate. Now see here, convert char of 7, character of 7, right? Comma, cast average amount. Now take out that amount from there and average amount as money and write down, for example, money here, close the bracket. And now here, look at that. Now it is basically casting that one into that one with one and do what? So that has to be amount from, let's see what we are doing. Let's go back and look at the slide. Convert char amount 1 as average amount. Okay, right. As average amount. As a average amount. So it whole will come out as an average amount from, and the table from where we have to take is invoice item. Right. So we want to take out amount from that, like taking the average of that amount and run that one. So now let's run this one. So it says $4.75. So you know what it is doing? It is just making sure that it is just bringing up the average amount from there, the average amount from there. Make sense, everyone? So now if I just write a single query over here and I write select, for example, let's say cast, or not even cast, if I just say average and I take amount, right? And I say from invoice item. So average amount, I just want to take out the average amount. So look at that. The average amount that is coming out is 47.9381, and it's rounding to the two values. If you just look at that one, and again, it's basically converting that into the character 7. And in the string, it is converting over here because we have just concatenated that one over here. This is the number over here. And now what I can do is that I can always combine a string over here, but you see that what will happen if I introduce a dollar sign over here with single quotation and a plus over here. Look at that, what will happen now. So look at that. It's just give me a second. You see that dollar is not appearing. And you know why dollar is not appearing? Because the amount that is coming out is basically it's a numeric amount. And you see that's why we have converted that into character of 7. Make sense, everyone? Character of 7. That's why it has been correct. So now when it is corrected to the 7, you see that average amount is written over here. And now we have got this money, which is 474.94, which is basically now being being rounded up, and rounded up to the 9381 is rounded up to the 4. Make sense, everyone? Now let's come back over. Then the min aggregate. So now then we have the min, and the min will do what? Min will just take out. Min will just take out what? It will take out the aggregate function, which is used to find minimum value from a set of values. And that is quite an interesting thing, that our values will be either minimum. So we can just run this command as well, and let's see how this take out the minimum value from there. Right. So let's come back over here and let's run this command for minimum. And why not I write here minimum? Right, so we're just talking about minimum. So let's select, and again $sign plus convert right into character of 7 again, just to have a string. Typically cast min. Now here come min, and take out amount from that, minimum amount, and maybe alias that as money and round it to the 1. And now as minimum price, and from invoice item. Right, let's run this one. And you see that we are getting a $9 over here. The minimum, that it has gone to the minimum amount and taken that, and it just convert that into string and shows it over here that we have got the minimum amount over here. Makes sense, everyone? $9 is just coming up. Max, in the same way, we can just run the max command and see that how does max come out. So it will just bring up the maximum value. Why not? Let's just copy this one and paste it, convert that. And now instead of min, I'll use max. Max of amount. And here I would say not minimum price, I would say maximum price. Maximum price. And now let's run both of them. Okay, there's an insufficient result space to convert a money value to character. Okay, there's a we have got space is left. Character 7, cast max amount as money, and okay, I'll have to convert that char into maybe, let's say 20. Let's do that. See that, because it was not accepting that one. So character 7 was not enough to hold that one. So look at that. It is basically now doing what? It is now just showing the maximum. And by the way, you can have any number of their whatever can adjust those values. We can just use them, right? So what are the other aggregate functions? Sum. The sum expression aggregates. The function is used to compute the sum for all non-null values of expression. So again, it will just take out the sum of money. And after taking the sum of money, it will just return that one. So let's do that one as well, the sum one. Rather, I can paste this again and then convert this one. And I'll just keep maybe 10 characters, so that I can just see everything. And the cast, after cast, I'll just say sum. Sum as money. And here I'll say sum of all items. Sum of all items. Now see here, the dollar will appear over there. And look at that, 5,037 is basically the sum over here. Right, so let's move forward. Aggregates with where. Now we will use the aggregates functions with where. And we have just seen that a few examples in the beginning, that where actually introduces some of the interesting fact that we will have a condition and we can just use that one. Now, do you remember this wildcard, anyone? This wildcard starting with anything, ending with anything, but there is a CSI in between. So wherever there is a CSI in between. So we'll just do that. We'll try to do that. And we have talked about that before as well. Right. So let's go there and let's do that. So I'll paste it again. So let's static convert char to not 7, maybe 10 again. And cast. And what I'll do is that I'll use the average here. Average data. And as money, that's fine. And then average of all items. Average of all items. And now here comes the point. Now I want to say that where item like. Now go to the item wherever you find CSI in between any two strings or any string, just count that one. Just take the average of those where there is a CSI into them. Make sense? This is wildcard that tells you about the string on the either side. So now if I just run that one, it is saying 210, because now if I just go to the invoice item and look at everything in an invoice item, let's look at that everything. Look at that. So invoice item, and we are saying that where item, like in item, there is CSI. So look at that. CSI is in here. CSI is in here. C is in I. So it is just, taking wherever there is CSI, it will just, come up with that one. Make sense, everyone? And, we can just, find out that is there. Now let's go back there. Group by and having. So first of all, group by. Group by in combination with aggregate functions can be used to group rows and summarize the results of aggregate functions for each group. We can just summarize the group in each group. One group is used. The expressions in queries select list are restricted to expressions specified group by clause, aggregate functions, or other computations based on their result. This is very interesting. Now see here, what does group by do? Group by partitions the input rows from and where clauses into groups that have identical set of values for the group by expression specified in the query. We'll specify the expression and it groups by that typical, with that typical thing, and it will just make the partitions. Once all the input rows were partitioned, the server then compute the result of the aggregate function for each partition. Each partition then generates a single row in the output. And that is quite interesting. Look at that. We'll just, try to do that one. And this is very important, group by. I would like you to just, understand this group by. Look at that group by, and we have used that group by before. Select student number, comma, sum of amount. Select student number and sum of amount from, there is a table called payment, and group by student number. Now see here. Let's execute that. What it has done? Can anyone explain what it has done? Yes. Anyone? The explanation is over here. Group by partitions the input rows from and where clauses into groups that have identical set of values for the group by expression specified in the query. Once all the input rows are partitioned, the server then compute the result of the aggregate function for each partition. Each partition then generates a single row in the output. So if you look at that, what it has done, it has basically, grouped it by the student number. Make sense? And after making the group, group by the student number, it has just calculated all the values over here. Now, if you look at the payment table, specifically, if you look at the payment table, and I'll write it over here. Select status from payment. Everything from payment. Let's select that one. Now see here, we have got like some of the students, they are like, they're just repeating over here. You look at that. 8413 was 7. These are like repeating values at the places. So whenever there are repeated, if you look at that, this is the repeating value over here. But when I run this one, do you guys see that what it is doing? Now it is basically setting up those values and just adding those values over here. So for example, let's talk about 8866782. If I just go here and it is showing 3000. 8862782 or whatever. 8862782. So you look at that. 1000, 1000, 1000. We have 3 values over here. Do you guys understand that one? It has taken those 3 and it has grouped by 3000 together. So it has summed them together, group by student number. Can I have a thumbs up from everyone? I want response from everyone because I was speaking for so long. I would like everyone to just come in and respond to this one. Okay, wonderful, Daniel. Right. Okay, Jay, Arshit, and I can see some people have. Okay, wonderful. So this is group by. Now let's come here. What forms a group? Groups are formed from unique values from the combination of grouping columns in group by clause. For the purpose of comparing column or expression values, null is semantically equivalent to null, as in select distinct. Group by X, group formed based on unique values of X. Group by X comma Y, group based on unique combinations of values of X and Y from the same row. We can have a combination. Empty input with group by. This is interesting. If we have empty input, if query's intermediate result is empty and that query contains group by, then the query also returns an empty set, that is rows affected. Select. So if we just run that, you see that if query's intermediate result is empty and the query contains group by, then query also returns an empty set, 0 rows affected. So again, let's come and run that one. So I'll say that empty input with group by empty result set. Right? Now see here. Select session code, average amount as average amount, again aliasing that. From invoice, we have invoice table as well, where amount is greater than 0 and group by session code. Makes sense, everyone? Session code. Now see here, it will have 0 rows affected. It's executing the query. It's taking a long time. This is session code and average code, and it does not show anything. There's nothing being shown. And why? Because the session code we have grouped by session code, and it's basically because these values are not returning anything. Average amount as average amount from invoice amount greater than 0. So there's no one, maybe there whereas the amount is basically greater than 0 with the average amount and doing the averaging of the amount. Make sense, everyone? Now let's move forward. So empty input without group by. So if we have empty input without group by for queries that involve aggregation but don't have a group by clause, then the query does not return an empty set. It says one row affected and it says null. So if we just take away the group by from here, if we take away the group by from here and try to run this one, is invalid in the select list because it is not containing either the aggregate function or the group by. Yes, exactly. So if we have that one, we will have to change that one. Average amount as average amount. We cannot use the session code now because there is nothing, and it's not average amount as average amount. And if I now run that one, look at that, we are getting a null. So that really tells us one more thing, that whenever you have you are using a column that has to be, if it is in order by or somewhere, you can just use that. Otherwise, you cannot use that. That is something that we have come on. Having can be used to limit the results that appear in groups created with group by. So in the groups, we can have having as well. A particular condition that we want to put in, that if that has that particular condition, that would happen. So having is similar to where clause, where restrict the rows created by from clause, having restrict the group created by the group by clause. Will you guys remember that one? A tricky question might be, what is the difference between having and where they typically they used to try to do exactly the same thing, but what is that? What is the difference between these two? So remember that group by, the having actually try to limit the groups created by group by, and where restricts from the value of that one. Let's see the example. There should be an example here. Group by and having. So determine the sum of payments of a specific student, but only for the students who have paid over more than one payment. So those students who have paid more than one payment, we just want to collect their name or their values. So what would happen is that more than one payment. So select a student. Let's do that. So I'll call it group. Sorry, group by and having. Let's do the difference between these two, right? Select student number, comma. Now let's say dollar. We'll try to create a string here. Dollar plus convert. So again, char of 12, character of 12, and cast sum of amount as money, comma 1, as invoice total. Invoice total. Yes. Cast 12, cast some amount as money, and wonderful. So this is right. From payment as invoice table from payment. From payment, and then group by student number. Having. Now this is interesting. Having count asterisk is greater than 1. Right? And what was the purpose? Remember the purpose. The purpose was determine the sum of payments for a specific student, but only for those students who have paid over more than one payment. So that's why what we have done, we have just done where count is greater than 1, or count of that particular is. So that is having. So group only will be created for those students who have more than one duplicate, like more than one entries. Does that make sense? Now let's convert that. Look at that. It just gives for one student. It gives this one the payments, and they are also coming as a sum. Like for every student they are coming as a sum. Right. So that's quite interesting. Where it is just giving us that one. So it will just bring up this our total order of clauses. What is the order of clause? If a query contains where clause, you must put the where clause before group by. Another tricky question. If a query contains where clause, you must put where clause before the group by. We cannot use where clause after group by. Right? So and having order by follows group by and optional having clause. So order by actually follows by the group by and then select. So again, there's an example over here. Let's do the examples here. And I can call it order of clauses. This is important, order of clauses. Now let's start that. Select student number, comma, $, plus again, convert character of 12, cast of some amount as money, 1 here as invoice total, and from payment, where student number look at that, 8431710. Group by student number having count more than one, like greater than one, and then order by DSC, descending. Right. Let's see that what is there. Let me just run this one. We are not ordering right now. Right. And what is mentioned there? Order by 2 descending. Okay. Order by 2. Okay, it's exactly the same. It's maybe it's not making any difference to that output. Okay, so now it's basically doing what? It's typically, it's representing that, order by is actually, making what? We have to have order by after having, like, where should be before even that. And remember that example that, you have to have actually, there has to have, like, the same one. So let's come back. Okay, so it's the result here. Limitation, expressions with group by. One cannot specify an expression in a query select list that is not an aggregate function unless the identical expression appear in the query's group by clause. So for example, select X sum Y from T group by X permitted. Select X sum Y from T illegal. Why? Because we are using this X and there it has to have in the group by. Are you guys getting that one? If it is not in group by, it will be illegal. And I'll show you. And X, Y, sum of Z from T group by X, again illegal. Now, if X, sum of Z from T group by X and Y, for example, if it is, for example, there is a Y as well, so it would be, it would be right, and it will just, do that one. Make sense, everyone? So that's typically, whenever you are using, one cannot specify an expression in a query select list that is not an aggregate function unless identical expression appears in the query's group by. If it is not group by, you cannot use that one. Right? So that is something over here. And if I just come here, roll up. This is the last thing that we'll discuss today. Roll up. The roll up operator in query adds a final summary row to the result SQL Server 2008 or later. It actually rolls up, just its name suggests, it rolls up the end, and it just gives us that what is typically being left over there, like what's there. So select all persons, grouping them first letter of their last name, and provide a count of the number of persons with the same letter of their last name. For example, 24 unique first letters. So this is very interesting. Now come here and let's do that. This is called roll up. So we'll say what? Let's do that. Roll up. I should write with roll up. With roll up. And what we are displaying, look at that. Display the tally for all persons with count per unique first letter with final summary row. Right? Now look at that. What will happen? So what will do? Look at that. I'll say select left last name. Remember this left, it will go to the most left and find out one letter from there. Left 1 and count again from left last name number 1. Just count that. Right. And from person group by left, and again group by also left last name. Go to the last name, one letter, and group by that. But with roll up. This is interesting. Roll up. Look at that. with roll up. Right. So now let's do that. Look at that roll up. It is showing 434. This is called roll up. Are you guys getting that one? So it is ordered by last name, like, left of last name, and it has been showing that A has been, for example, last letter maybe 18 times, B is 34, and this is all, and it just says that we have got 434. Make sense, everyone? So what it has done, it has actually displayed the tally of all persons with count per unique first letter with final summary row. Final summary row is basically this row. Make sense, everyone? Now let's move next. Add search condition, 7 letters drop. Search all international students, like grouping them by first letter of their last name, and provide a count of the number of students with each first letter. 17 unique first letter. There are 17 unique first letter, and we have to just find out that how we can find out those international students that have, like, maybe, as we have said. So all those students with 7 letters are dropped. And again, here we will have a joining. We'll just do the join as well. And let's do that joining and see that how that will come out, right? Okay. Let's come here and do that. Okay. So select. So for example, let's do that count first of all. Select count and everything, like all the values from student. We have a student table. Where is international equal to 1? If the is international equal to 1, tell us how many students are there. Like count them. 44. Right? And we can check that. So we have got, location, look at that. Local city or local country code or local phone, it's all over here. If you just come here and you keep on going that. So out of them, there are 44. There should be 44 students with our is international. Where is the is international field? Let me just check that one. Yeah, this is the field. So 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. There will be 44 students who are international. Make sense? So now let's make another very interesting query here. What we'll do? So we'll say using where clause search condition. This is the search condition that will come out. Search condition only show 17 unique first letters instead of 24, 24. So 17 unique first letters. We'll talk about unique first letters, right? So that's quite interesting. We'll just try to find out that one. So let's write a query for that one. Select left. Remember left. Last name, comma 1. Count left. Last name, comma 1. Right? So now you have to select left last name from student. From student S and join it with person P. And remember aliasing them, and where we'll use on S dot number equal to P dot number. Make sense? Now, not only that, you have to have where is international equal to 1. All those international students, we are talking about international students, right? And now group by group by left last name, comma 1, and again with roll up as well. So we need the collection of that one as well. Make sense, everyone? Now let's run that one. So now with A, we are starting 3, B 2, and all those, and it is showing us 44, right? Okay, right, but it should show. I think it is not considered international equal to 1. Is international equal to 1 should be there because it is giving me 44. All 40. Oh, it's showing me all 44 maybe. All 44, but okay, there should be 17 unique first letters. Let's see that. Look at that. So student name is, so their last name. Where is the last local street, local province? Oh, which table we are talking about here? Person. Right. Let's see that. What is inside that? Yeah, so it's the last name over here, right? And if the last name is here, and then we can just find out again, they will be just represented in our next column. Like again, let's bring up the students as well, right? So now let's see that. Okay, it says that 011443 is international bank, right? And then let's see that. Who else? 1448422. 1448422. Singh. That is also there. And this is last name. It's unique, right? And then we have 1525872. Xiaolan He. That is also there. So maybe it's basically 44 that are coming up over here. So maybe we have that. Let's see, international student 44. And here it has just taken out, and they have grouped by. They are grouped by left last name. So A last name starts 3 people, and B last name start with 2 people, and 3 and all those. They're just starting. So now, yes, to now show the original 24 that have their the distinct one, to show all the original 24 unique letters, 24 unique letters, unique first letters. So they are not showing that unique first letter. They are just showing previous query is showing the all of them. But for doing that, we will have to use what? We can use right outer join. Remember right outer join? Right outer join. And also what we can do, what we can do is that we can use join table expression, move search condition from where clause to on clause. We'll move the condition from there and we'll just do that. So now see that what will happen. Select left last name, comma 1, count s dot number. Look at that, s dot number from student s right outer join. Right outer join person P. Combine it with P. And on which field we want to combine that? We say s dot number equal to P dot number. And also remember, is international equal to 1. Make sense, everyone? Now, let's group it by left last name, comma 1. We are grouping it by, and again with roll up as well. Now see that roll up will just show us what is happening. Okay, so it still shows 44. That's interesting. Let me see in the slides. Yeah, I'm writing the right query. Looks like there's something with roll up. Why not I copy this query from here? Maybe I'm making a little mistake here, maybe. It still says shows that same 24, like the 44. Right outer join is not working fine here. Can you guys find why it is not showing? It should show 24 unique letters, unique first letter, because this is 3 starting from this, B is 2 starting from, so it's showing all 44. And here we are trying to have a distinct one, like only distinct one. Are we missing something here? Anyone? Okay, I'll try to find out what's the problem, because it should show 24 users over here, but I'll just have a look at that one. Okay, this very much sums up our today's lecture. If I just save this one, this is the last query that I'll have to just look into that one, and I'll look into that one, and I'll let you know if there is something that we can do with this. So these are codes, and I would say week 5, part 1. Make sense, everyone? And I'll upload that on your like server as well. It should be there, week 5, part 1. It should be there, right? So now you will see that that is available. And as I mentioned that it would be the recording of the lecture will be available after this. So I'll upload that on the YouTube, and you'll be able to just see that, and you will be able to use that one. Make sense, everyone? So yes, so we are stopping here, and as I told you that your quiz, it might start at 4 p.m. and it will be open for 4 hours. As I said, you can attempt any point of time, because I'll keep it open for till 4 to 8. So quiz will start at 4 p.m. for you guys, and I'm just putting a little announcement here for you guys, because so that if someone is not here, they know that. So quiz 1 will start at 4 p.m. and end at 8 p.m. Just remember that one. If someone is not in the class right now, please note that quiz 1 will be available after around an hour, available from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. After this, quiz will go away, and you will not be able to. No queries will be entertained after that. Right, so I'm just putting this as an announcement here, as well as I'll put that on Teams. And I'm very happy that, of course, I never get a lot of people, they will never get any response to that one, and that's very good, and it's not a problem. So you will never get that response over there. So I'm just mentioning that quiz 1 today, right? So, so I've got everything is being mentioned over there. Now let's, so quiz will open at 4 p.m. and you can just start from that point and you can go till like from 8 before 8 p.m. You have to just attempt that one. After that, it will be closed. Any questions from
Sir, I
anyone?
just have,
Yeah.
yeah, I just have one doubt. I was checking up the e-Conestoga portal for this particular course,
Mhm.
and the quiz, does it contain any marks or something? Because it is not mentioned over there.
Where is not mentioned?
Like on the e-Conestoga, in the grading part, there are like 4 tasks, few
Oh,
assignments.
I see. I got it. You are talking about this one. Like you say that task one, task two, task three are there. So
Yeah,
remember,
but the quizzes are not mentioned.
exactly. So now instead of that, actually it would be quiz. I'll change that one. Thank you for reminding that. I have to change that to the quizzes. You know what I mean? And it's rather
Yeah.
than 4 tasks, it might be 2 quizzes instead of them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is graded by the way. Remember, it's graded,
Oh,
right?
it's just, that's why I was just wondering, like, this quiz does contain any marks or something like that, or
Def
is it just a practice quiz?
No, 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 definitely, Simarjit. It contains grades, and whenever it is a quiz, it is exam, midterm exam. It will basically like carry the ranks, right?
Yeah, I was actually thinking that you will give tasks in the class to perform, and you will be marking them. But so
No,
I
no,
just had this concern.
no. That would be quiz. Yes. Thank you for reminding that, and I'll change that one for you, right? Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Simarjit has asked few questions today. Wonderful. And anyone else? At least you can write no question so that you can just leave now, or I'll stop recording now. So everyone.